My 200th show, and I screwed up. Good morning, everybody. I know you're going to call me a boomer like you always do because I didn't have the sound on. Hi, everybody. It's my 200th show, and I went all boomer on you. Say hi to the ranting monkey who's up there somewhere. Say it again, monkey.
Hi, guys.
All right, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Damn it! I muted so I could talk to you during the intro, monkey, and I did it again. Good God. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P Dog Night. Somebody's already heard this, but it wasn't any of you. And my special guest on my 200th episode, the Ranting Monkey. Say hi, monkey, again.
Hello.
All right, now everyone can hear everybody, right? Except for none of you talking. Yes, I know I was muted. Stop it. Don't call me. Look at my chat. Oh my God. You should do a pop-out chat on this.
We were talking over the intro.
Well, kind of. I don't know what's going on. I haven't had a guest on in a while, and so I kind of forgot how to do it, and so I'm a little bit
so you had me on, but not you.
Right. And so, sometimes you just got to be smarter than the computer that you built. And you know what? I'm not always that. So it's just how it's going to go today, folks, because this is the 200th show, and we're kind of winging it. So, Monkey, I'm so glad you got up this morning, because I know you were up kind of late this morning, weren't you?
Oh, I still haven't slept, man.
Oh, you haven't?
I stayed up just for this.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, let's say hi to who's in the chat real quick. I'd like to say hi, good morning, everybody, because we're still a rather small show, but I can still do that. First of all, good morning, Ramen Noodle 78, who gets the bell for being first. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Duck Daw. Yes, I saw the dislikes because that's your thing. Good morning, RVA, Rolling Bear, Jason Burns, Drayden's. Now, I'm not familiar. Have you been here before, Drayden's? You can just let me know in the chat. Good morning, Blind Press, Sheograth, Tyler F, MC Hammer Time. Hope Tech, check your logic, Sarah, Johnny Hellcat, the gayest person on YouTube, not to be confused with Johnny Hellcat. They're two separate people, and Richo. So that's a good start. Yes, everyone in the chat can say welcome to the monkeys. Oh, and Grilling Pirate Pete, Gen T. Oh, the gang is all here, and the lurking gopher. So, and Nitz is here. Good morning, Stargazer Knights. I call you Stargazer. Monkey calls you
Nuts. That's my nuts.
Nuts. All right, so I'm glad everyone's here. It is Friday. We're having more impeachment follies today, but we're not going to watch those on this show today because I haven't quite figured out how to make sound work for my guests. So we're going to talk about other things. And so now I bookmarked a couple things here, Monkey, and I'm gonna give you I don't know if I need to show it. I can just read these, I suppose, because a couple things that I just kind of caught my eye this morning. And oh God, this isn't working now. Jesus, I'm even plugged in. About the impeachment hearings, there's something that caught this morning, and I'm just gonna read this because I found it a little bit funny. So this someone named Mike. The bonus. Maybe I will share this on the screen. Oh, wrong one. What the hell's going on there? That is not the screen I want to be sharing. Okay, I gotta fix this real quick. Oh, you know what happened? I changed this over. Oh, God. You know what? I messed up. Give me 1 second here, guys. There we go. All right. Monkey is. It's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to do it without an icon today. All right. But I can share this screen with you. So this guy named Mike DeBonis was on Twitter this morning, and he has what he says is, quote, a notable tidbit in our joint about Speaker Pelosi and other Dems embracing the bribery, quote unquote, message came after the DCC circulated a focus group findings this week. Bribery was found to be way more compelling than extortion or quid pro quo. And here's the quote. The shift came after the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee conducted focus groups in key House battlegrounds in recent weeks, testing messages related to impeachment. Among the questions put to participants was whether quid pro quo, extortion, or bribery was a more compelling description of Trump's conduct, according to two people familiar with the results, which circulated among Democrats this week. The focus groups found that bribery to be the most damning. The people spoke on the condition of anonymity because results have not been made public. Now, what's your first thoughts on that, Monkey? Or do you want to hear mine?
It makes sense. I mean, they did kind of do a switch to the whole bribery thing the other day.
Right, and you heard that, like, they switched to it and all the corporate media switched to it. Here's the real problem with that. Quid pro quo, bribery, and extortion are three very distinct things and different things in as far as definitions and as the part of the law. They're not the same. None of them are the same thing. So why is it they had to have a focus group to decide what to call it if they were going to start an impeachment hearing? If they didn't even know what to call it, how do you start an impeachment hearing?
Well, that was the whole thing. That was the focus group to see what they should focus on.
They're not,
because
they're three.
No, I get you. I get you. But you can kind of make an argument that bribery is kind of like extortion. You know, it's like positive extortion. You see what I'm saying? I'll give you this, you know, and that way you'll do things for me. That's bribery.
Right.
If you don't do things for me, I'm not going to give you this. There's your
extortion is I'm going to do something bad to you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's extortion. Bribery is, okay, so if he said, I'll give you, Zelensky, $1 million if you push this stuff through. Okay, yeah. That's bribery. Okay, extortion is if you don't do this, we're going to shoot down all your planes. That's extortion.
And then the problem is, Oh, go ahead with your
and then quid pro quo. That's quid pro quo isn't even illegal. It's nothing illegal about it. Quid pro quo is very common in diplomatic negotiations, right? I mean, it's that's just saying that we'll do something. You do something for us, we'll do something for you. And you know, it's not really there's no legal reason for a quid pro quo. If we, for example, the Obama administration said, if you give us these 4 people, we'll give you back your whatever millions of dollars. That's just quid pro quo, right? Mm-hmm. So the point is, go ahead.
Which even that doesn't fit here because they didn't know the money had been withheld.
Right.
Here's what happened though, dog. They're having trouble selling this idea. There's lots of people out there who hate Trump, and they're like, yeah, this kind of looks bad. They're like, well, what should we call it? And that's why they did this. What should we call it that'll get you guys the most upset about it?
Right. Yeah. So really, they're, like you said, they're having impeachment, but they have to figure out what the crime is.
Yeah.
And so clearly, if you have to do a focus group, it said in battleground states, then this is purely a political move. There's Nancy Pelosi saying this is not political. They're trying to cover the rule of law, but them having focus groups in battleground states about what to call it makes it purely political.
Yeah, that's all it's ever been, of course.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, I'm gonna fix something here because this is just not working. Hang on a second here. I'm going to move this. All right. Shoot. Yes. Hope that doesn't mess up everything. And we'll transition there. Yeah, so I just that really clicked in my head this morning. I'm not sure why. Reading that, so anyway. The other thing in the news that was something that you brought up, this New York Post article on the being self-partnered.
Oh yeah.
Did you do that one this morning?
Yes, yeah, just for a moment.
Okay, I don't know if anyone here was there this morning, but this is hilarious. So here I'm gonna pop that on the screen for everybody else here. This is an article in the New York Post. A woman says, "Don't call me single. I'm self-partnered," and it kind of comes off of when Emma Watson was it Emma Watson who said that the other day? Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
she said about a week ago. Yeah.
So I'll just read a little bit of the article here. Move over, conspicuous uncoupling. A new celeb euphemism de jour has arrived. When Harry Potter star Emma Watson proclaimed herself self-partnered in an article in British Vogue last week, many scoffed at the 29-year-old singleton's woke navel-gazing. But not all. It seems quite a few unattached adults identify with the term and the concept of feeling empowered and fulfilled all by themselves. You know, there is another name for that that's much more common.
Lonely?
Masturbation.
Same thing in my world.
It just means she likes to masturbate. That's all it tells me. Self-partner. It says self-partner means you're happy whether things work out with a partner or not in terms of a marriage and a family, says 39-year-old Sage Israel, an actress in Williamsburg. Is it all actresses that self-partner, by the way?
No, there's a guy they quote in there too.
Is there? Okay. Well, no, but I thought when it's a guy, I thought it was called an incel.
No, it's okay now as long as you're self-partnered and not incel.
So incel
They're involuntarily self-partnered.
So an incel is a dangerous potential neo-Nazi.
Yes.
And self-partnered means that you just can't get any, so that you just call yourself self-partnered.
Yeah.
Am I getting this right?
Yes. As long as you're happy with being, I think that's the difference. Incels are upset about being lonely. Self-partnered people are happy about being lonely.
Okay, well then I guess I'm done with that article. Because I think we figured it out. I don't know, something's going on with my computer. I might have too much shit running. Okay, I was just curious. So, and then let's see, the last one we already did him. Oh, I only have two. Oh, well, this one I can't show because it's video and you can't see it. So one of the reasons too. Just to my audience, real quick. By the way, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please share this stream. That's number one down here, the little share arrow. And if you like what we're doing, hit the like button. Looks like, everyone, 22 people and 18 likes already. So people are already knowing what to do about that. And, oh no, am I freezing again? Oh gosh. Here, I'm going to refresh this real quick, see if that helps. And if you're so inclined, we don't do super chats through YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, but you guys are doing a great job of helping me get there. But we do super chats through the Streamlabs links, which is in the description down below. And my mods can help me put up links for both myself and Monkey in the chat. So just pay attention in the chat if you are willing to do that. What else did I have here? I've got all kinds of notes. Oh, by the way, thank you, Necrosol, Tyler F, Grill and Pirate Pete, and Sarah for tweeting out the show this morning. I really appreciate that. Oh, and Blind Press also. Thank you. And Pincalo did too. So there we go. And good morning, Green Thunder Demighty. So one of the reasons I brought you on, Monkey, is in particular, one of the reasons I kind of started streaming because you guys on Lords of the Night, you guys had me on a couple times and I had a fun time doing it. And so I think I started to do this in March. I can't remember the exact date that I did my first I almost called it Monkey in the Morning. My first Monday Night Live, and so I was kind of trying to think, okay, what were the stories that over the last, I'll just say this year, what are some of the biggest stories? The one that I have covered the most has been the Jesse Smollett story.
Oh, sure,
And
sure.
so it used to be every Wednesday there'd be something. Well, it got so there was news about it almost every day, and I used to do this on just Wednesdays, doing the Smollett story, and and doing all the updates. What do you think? Well, obviously impeachment is probably the biggest story now. What can you think of any stories that have come up though that kind of typify what this year is a bit about? I mean, I think I could probably name a few myself. What are some of the ones that you think are the, if you said, okay, 2019, and you had said, okay, this is one of those things. This is one of those things. For example, I think the Covington kids, the media, the media's habit of jumping on stories that turned out to be wrong.
Yeah, that's a good one. For me, I mean, especially considering I mostly talk politics, the entire impeachment thing, man, from Mueller to where we are today. I mean, just the whole coverage of Trump in general.
Yeah, I've implemented my own 5-day rule because pretty much any sensational story that comes out of Trump, if you wait 3 to 5 days, that story will change significantly.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Even did you watch any of the hearings just from the other day? Even
Oh, yeah.
after the fact?
I watched probably 3 hours of the hearing on Wednesday. Um, I didn't even realize today's had already started, but I'll be going back and watch. There's not much to hear from the chick today. She has no knowledge of it at all. She was an ambassador who got fired. That's the only reason they brought her up here. Look, he fired somebody who worked for Ukraine or worked in Ukraine. But the one from the other day, I mean, the biggest takeaways from that are, you guys have no direct knowledge? No. Okay, we're going to ask you questions anyway.
Oh, and Jim Jordan, when he did the 6th degree of separations question, I mean, basically, you heard this from somebody who said this, and they told me that you said this, and they did that, and whatnot. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And even the one today, so it's almost like, at least my take from it is that these people are people who didn't agree with Trump's foreign policy. A lot of it. I mean, getting away from just the call. And so they're saying you're undermining U.S. foreign policy. But the President of the United States, constitutionally, is the United States foreign policy. Muggy, you
Say that again?
So the President of the United States dictates is the United States foreign policy is from the executive branch of the of our government.
Yeah, yeah. The only, I mean, when it comes to like making treaties, the Senate gets brought in on that, but otherwise, yeah,
Right.
you're right. Yeah.
So I mean, and it seems like some of these the career people who are saying, like even this in the thing Wednesday, they had these opinions that were related to how we do our foreign policy, versus, we're what am I trying to say here?
Worthless, didn't have anything to say, didn't know. We're mad about what happened, even though it's none of their job to make policy.
Yeah, I mean, and whether or not, granted, he even though he brought up Biden, the part I'm having the hardest part about is so he's asking them that we have this agreement with Ukraine to make sure that we're rooting out corruption, because Ukraine is known as a very corrupt country. And
Indeed.
so he asks him about corruption that did happen, that there's some documented evidence, at least even if it's just media stories, that Ukraine did interfere in the 2016 election, just like they said Russia was interfering in the 2016 election. Mm-hmm. But they did it with the cooperation of the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign, in some ways. At least the article I read in Politico from the day after the Steele dossier was leaked on BuzzFeed. I don't know if you saw that story. But we can't talk about that now, right? Because that's not Trump, and that's not, that's the Democrats. So you can't, the media doesn't want to talk about that. But the media wants to talk about what they still, they spent 3 years talking about what they thought Trump did with the Russians.
Yeah, and that's why I said the Donald Trump stories are the story of the year that your story of the year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's there's so much of it that rolls over into each other, because you had, oh, Mueller's coming out, and then we're going to find out, oh, look, not much there, but we need to have impeachment hearings, a phone call, something happened, he did something, damn it. Yeah, it's sad, and the press is going along with it, which is sadly not out of the expected.
Well, we've learned a long time ago that, at least if you go by if you ever paid attention to the WikiLeaks stuff, that the press seems to magically coordinate with this certain side of the board. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at the corporate media, especially I don't even know what to call it anymore, mainstream media, whatever. They all go on the same narrative, same talking points. They always seem to mirror whatever the Democrats are saying, except for Fox, which seems to mirror whatever the Republicans say. And, it's just, it's amazing how quickly, for example, we were just talking about extortion, bribery, quid pro quo. Well, quid pro quo was the word you heard the most last week. And then bribery, even from all the media, switched to bribery the same time as the Democrats switched to bribery. Now, you might say that's because it's news, but it's like some of them switch immediately at the same time. And you stopped hearing the quid pro quo. So, I don't know. It is maddening. Let's see, what else do we have in the news today? I should, I was a little bit late, so I didn't get a whole lot of stuff pulled out. They are trying to get, apparently, let's do this article real quick. So, apparently, the Republican leader, the GOP leader, Kevin McCarthy, says that Schiff lied numerous times. So, here's a quick article here. Here, I'll put it in the share too, if I can figure out share screen. Let's see if I share the right one. All right, so you can see that, right?
Yep.
Anyway, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Thursday that he believes Representative Adam Schiff has lied numerous times during his tenure as the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, including about his knowledge of the Trump whistleblower. Yeah, okay, hang on. Chat, help me out here. And Monkey, you can too. Is there anyone in the chat who believes that Adam Schiff does not know the name of the whistleblower? 1, if you think he knows the name of the whistleblower. 2, if you think he doesn't, as I read this.
Oh, he absolutely knows the name of the whistleblower.
That was just that. I mean, a good thing he wasn't under oath. Anyway, I think Adam Schiff lied numerous times. I do not think Adam Schiff is fit to be in this position of running the Intel Committee, McCarthy told reporters at a weekly press briefing. McCarthy accused Schiff, whom he referred to repeatedly as Adam Schiff, of lying. of lying throughout the Trump-Russia investigation as well as during the impeachment inquiry. Quote, you just asserted, and several Republicans said yesterday at the hearing, Adam Schiff either personally met with the whistleblower or knows the identity of the whistleblower, which he continues to deny. And there goes my Daily Caller ad
Oh
of the
God,
day.
they're so bad with that.
Oh, it's getting, yeah, it comes over the top, the entire thing now. I'm sorry, you just asserted several Republicans said yesterday at the hearing Adam Schiff either personally met with the whistleblower or knows the identity of the whistleblower, which he continues to deny, a reporter asked. Can you say it plainly? Do you think he's lying? Yes, said McCarthy, and I think it's the first, I don't think it's the first time he's lied to us either. Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, emphatically denied during the first impeachment hearing Wednesday that he knew the identity of the whistleblower or that he had personally met with the individual. I do not want the identity of the whistleblower, or excuse me, I do not know the identity of the whistleblower, and I'm determined to make sure the identity is protected, Schiff said in exchange with Jim Jordan. Now, how could he not know the name of the whistleblower if they've already determined that he's met with his staff? You think, if you have a staff, do you think your staff would tell you the name of that person if they came there? I mean, how do you know there was a whistleblower?
Yeah, there's no way his staff went, oh yeah, we have a random person. We're not even going to tell you who they are. He's also changed his story on this because he's changed his story about whether or not it was his staff or it was the committee's staff, which are two different things.
Oh shoot!
But it was his staff they met with, and yeah, he's a lying shitbag.
Yeah. So there's one. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, you went over this one this morning, but I wanted to talk about this one too. Rashida Tlaib.
Oh yes.
So okay, I've just realized that I'm buffering really bad. Okay, Chad, answer me this: can you hear the audio fine? I think maybe it's because I have Hangouts open too. I don't know what's going on here. Hey, Pete, that's not Monkey's fault. Pete puts in the chat, least professional monkey on the internet. No, I am. Thank you. Rashida Tlaib faces expanded House Ethics Panel review of possible campaign finance violations. The House Ethics Committee on Thursday announced it has expanded its examination of possible campaign finance violations by Rashida Tlaib, Democrat, Michigan. The committee released a series of eyebrow-raising messages in which the freshman congresswoman asked for congressional campaign money to help relieve her personal finance struggles. According to the Federal Election Commission filings, Tlaib paid herself $17,500 from her campaign bank account following her election in 2018. Lawmakers are prohibited from compensating themselves using campaign funds once they are elected. The panel stated, quote, the committee notes that the mere fact of conducting further review of a referral and any mandatory disclosure of such further review does not itself indicate that any violation has occurred or reflect any judgment on behalf of the committee. I wonder why the panel would want to put that message out right away. Anyway, communications published by the House Ethics Panel showed the Michigan Democrat reaching out to her staff members in search of money amid a mounting personal debt. And then apparently she sent a message to her staff. Let's see. It says, sorry for the early text, but do you think the campaign can still pay me a stipend until the general? Trying to get out of debt, she wrote. I think you guys were talking about this morning. The problem with these things, it's funny because when they were talking about Trump and Stormy Daniels and trying to call that a campaign finance violation, it's a crime and this and that, and they wanted to impeach her over that. What's the penalty for campaign finance violations?
Usually just a small fine.
Just a small fine, right? But then they say that when Trump allegedly paid off Stormy Daniels, they were trying to turn that into this huge crime, right? Like I remember the Young Turks were talking about it and saying that's a crime. You should be going to jail. He should be going to jail for that. Now, but those are slap on the wrist violations, right? I mean, pretty much
Yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
pay a fine, like, because the Obama campaign paid the largest campaign finance crime ever, right? I mean,
$2 million.
yeah, and so so it's amazing, and there are so many of these on the books. It seems like it's just I don't know. You hear about campaigns finance violations all the time, and so I just wonder, if it's not a crime for Obama, it's a $2 million fine. So this is just going to be a slap in the wrist for Tlaib, and I don't even know how they could call Trump paying out of his personal money for. Oops, I lost my headphones. Hang on. I don't know how they can call Trump's a campaign violation, finance violation anyway. But even if it was, slap on the wrist, fine, right? Uh-oh. Did I lose? Did my audio go out? I can't hear anything. Hang on. Hello? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. I see your circle opening, but I don't hear anything. What the hell happened here? Hang on. Nope, I can't hear you. And I don't know if that's me or you. Chad, who can you hear? Did Pete say that? No, he's the least professional monkey on the internet. Okay. This stream's going straight to hell. All right, chat. Let me know if you can hear me. Good point, Pete. Anyone think that it's odd the Socialist Squad are all struggling with scandals by almost like every other socialist in the country? Okay. Nope, I don't. And I'm thinking maybe it's... Aha! I can hear you now.
What'd you do?
I don't know if my headphones got pulled out of the socket. I put them back in, but it didn't immediately start making noise again. All right, let's see here. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm sorry. So, all right, so all right, gosh darn it. Sorry, folks, this is not going well for my 200th show. Apparently, my video is not working. Looks like the video is pointless, according to the chat. Audio sounds fine. And let's see. Let me see if I'm going to try to fix one thing here. If not, we might have to restart the whole thing, or reset the whole thing. You can hear us fine. How dare your show interrupt the impeachment? Oh, no. It's not interrupting the impeachment. And here's the point I make a lot, Monkey. I go, it's an impeachment inquiry.
It's an inquiry.
Inquiry. So that's
an inquisition. It's an inquest.
Yeah. It's a fishing expedition.
It is. It's an impeachment. It's an impeachment searching for a crime.
Oh shit, this is not making me happy. Hang on. All right, I do have a couple more articles here. Oh, by the way, there is a slight backfire going on as this happens. Now, granted, it is a Breitbart article. Just grain of salt. Breitbart article, definitely on the right, definitely on Trump's favor. However, impeachment backfire. Trump's numbers rise as Biden's crater. An objective look at latest polling proves the impeachment hoax is backfiring against quid pro Joe Biden. That's funny.
Oops.
Obviously, it was not supposed to be this way. Democrats and their established media allies were certain they had crafted a silver bullet that would accomplish two things at once: doom President Trump's re-election chances, and two, shield old Joe from the fact that he and his son are guilty of looting China and Ukraine. What a fail! Yes, this is a opinion piece, but as of this writing, Trump sits at a relatively healthy job approval rating of 44.1%, which is good for him. Per the Real Clear Politics poll of polls, that's only a single point lower than when the media and Democrats launched their impeachment hoax. What's more, in less than 3 weeks, Trump's job approval rating has climbed almost 4 points. Oh, and slow Joe, the impeachment hoax has backfired spectacularly on Joe Biden. As the media and the Democrats attempt to find an impeachable offense, as they hold secret hearings, well, that's not secret anymore, as they move the goalposts from quid pro quo that can't be proved and would not be impeachable to the crime of, LOL, bribery. As Democrats and the media flounder, I think he meant, around stepping on rakes, the impeachment hoax spotlight is instead exposing the Biden crime family syndicate. This ended up being a little more opinionated than I thought. Here's the thing. Isn't it fascinating that Joe Biden's son, Nancy Pelosi's son, John Kerry's stepson, and Mitt Romney's son all have jobs with Ukrainian energy companies? Isn't that fast? And you know, I don't know how much you know about with Hunter Biden and Kerry's son. I can't remember, something Hines is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And they had they started an investment company after they both got these around the same time, got these, lucrative jobs with these Ukrainian energy companies, as the vice president and the secretary of state just happened to be related to them. And then they start this investment company and got some ties in China right after Hunter Biden flew with Joe Biden to China. And then all of a sudden he comes back, and 5 days later, a Chinese conglomerate invest $1.5 billion with their investment company, which, just happens to be the vice president and the secretary of state's sons. And how is it that we're not talking about that?
Because they don't want to. I said this from the beginning when they decided to go with this. I said, this is a bad idea. This has the potential to hurt Biden more than Trump. Because it does raise those questions. How in the hell does Hunter Biden, pretty much a moron,
and a former coke addict,
yeah, end up with these two really, really high-paying jobs in countries his dad had just visited, when he's got no experience with either industry, no experience at all, in nations that are known to be what's that word, corrupt. And Biden's answer so far has been, you're asking the wrong questions, when people, ask him questions about this. All this is going to do is remind everybody that he's involved here, that his son, even if everything was on the up and up there, dog, it doesn't look good.
No.
The timing is horrible.
And when everyone pretty much has seen the Donald Trump Jr. visit to the View, but imagine if, like right now, just as they're doing an arms deal with Saudi Arabia, that all of a sudden Donald Trump Jr. ended up on the board of some oil company in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the biggest scandal on the planet, because Trump, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it, and the little clip of Biden saying, we're leaving here in 6 hours, and if he's not fired within 6 hours, you're not getting the $1 billion in loan guarantees.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a quid pro quo, or maybe even more so, extortion. Right? I mean, so this whole hearing with this phone call thing, I don't care if other European nations or other nations were saying, yeah, they need to get rid of this prosecutor. That's exactly what it is, even if it's legit. Quid pro quo.
Well, there's no actual evidence of Trump doing anything illegal. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's the heavy implication that maybe Joe Biden did. Now, I'm not suggesting he did. Allegedly, let me throw that word out there. Allegedly, got his son nice cushy jobs, or two nice cushy jobs right after he was in those countries on foreign business. And that's, again, it's just a reminder. And you also have the Democratic primary going on right now, and Elizabeth Warren pretending, she's never made money a day in her life.
Right.
She's whether they bring it up or not, whether Warren's campaign or Biden or Sanders' campaign, they don't even have to. Just their surrogates have to bring that shit up. Their surrogates bring it up, and Joe's dirty. Oops. Business as usual in Washington. Even if there's nothing else there, he's linked to it now, forever and ever. The Democrats bringing this up was so fucking stupid. It's almost to the point I'm beginning to think Adam Schiff works for Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because, and well, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, it's not. This is not good for Biden at all, because they can bring up, all they got to do is keep bringing up Hunter Biden's name. Any person, just even, well, and there's quite a few people that I listen to and follow on the left even that are saying, you know what? Yeah, that Hunter Biden thing, that's dirty. That's dirty as hell.
Yeah.
Anyway,
even the hint, that's the problem for him. And if Trump gets away with this, walks away clean, which I don't think he will, he'll still end up impeached because the Democrats want to impeach him.
Right.
And there's no, it's not like you have a judge overseeing this part of it. So that'll still happen. But you guys just screwed Biden, man.
Yeah. Speaking of Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders for that matter, I've been thinking a lot about this idea that suddenly they're demonizing billionaires and talking about having a wealth tax and things. And the other day, let's see if I still have it nearby, Bernie said something to the effect of, if, Bill Gates came out and said, that he was thinking that he could possibly be voting for Trump if Bernie Sanders is the nominee because, because Bernie wants to tax all the billionaires, and so does Elizabeth Warren. And so Bernie comes out with the idea that if we had taxed you $100 billion, and we could solve the problem of homelessness and clean water, and you'd still have $6 billion. And I thought to myself, well, wait a minute. You're basing it on Bill Gates's net worth?
Yes.
As if is Bernie such a financial midget that he thinks that Bill Gates is, has a room kind of like Scrooge McDuck full of gold coins, and he's just in there swimming in his $100 billion. If you attempted to take $100 billion away from Bill Gates, first of all, the $100 billion would be gone before you took the first million, because the $100 billion is based on the value of his company. And if you're going to try to take $100 billion in assets from Bill Gates, that would completely, as soon as you start, that would completely reduce the value of the assets.
Yeah, Microsoft would crash.
It would and you'd put thousands of people out of
Not
work.
just not just Microsoft. He has I mean, he's well divested.
Right.
Or not, he has a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got lots of money
You
everywhere.
invested everywhere, right? So I mean, you
But-
destroy the economy immediately just from trying to take it from one person.
But that's what they're going for. Because what Bill Gates actually said is he said he wouldn't vote for, if it was Warren and Trump, he would vote for Warren, and Bernie jumped in on it.
Okay.
And the reason that's is because Warren herself, she has said she's going to start taxing wealth.
Right.
Not money, not income, not estate tax. No. She's actually she wants a wealth tax.
Right.
So if you're, and it's only for billionaires until you get rid of all of them and you still need money.
Right.
And then it'll be 100 millionaires.
So here's the thing. And I was thinking about this morning. So any because I see a lot of people just saying, well, we shouldn't. It should be illegal to have billionaires, and they should just take all the money from the billionaires and do that. You know, anyone who advocates for that needs to think, okay, if you think it is so easy to just take that money away from the billionaires, the government should just be able to take it. And these billionaires have accountants, they have lawyers, they have, all kinds of ways. They have mobility. They can go and leave and go wherever they want. And you think it's going to be that easy to take that money away from the billionaires? How easy is it going to be able to take the money from you?
Well, I've seen these people. What is moral about having $1 billion? There's no morality in having money.
No,
there's none at all. But it's so stupid. You have all of these people who have no idea what socialism will do to a country. You ever want to see something funny? Talk to Cryptic about what it's like to live under socialism.
I've been watching interviews of people from other places that have come here, and they all are thinking these people are nuts. I watched an interview from someone from Venezuela the other day, and he's like, why would you ever want to even think about doing that here? This is heaven compared to there.
Well, because P-Dog, when we do it, we'll be the first ones to do it right.
Right? Isn't that the truth? But yeah, but if they could take money from billionaires who have lawyers and accountants and tax people and people who know how to shelter it, and they can move somewhere else and they have mobility, and if you think it's so easy to take it from them, how easy is it going to be to take it from you? Because you don't, as soon as they run out of billionaires, who are they going to go to next? They're going to keep going down that tier. And, now the other part is, so, because it used to, Bernie used to say it was millionaires, but he became a millionaire. And, the other thing about Bernie has never had a job.
Not a real job, no.
He's never had a job. He's never met a payroll. He's never led anything. Why do they want him to be president? Because he thinks he can take money from other people and give it to you?
Because he's telling them what they want to hear. He's going to give you all the money, man.
Right. I mean, it's
free healthcare, free childcare, free college, 6 months off when you have a baby, or however much he thinks it should be for paternal and maternal care paid. As motherfucker, he's just going to give you all the money in the world, man.
I'm curious if there's anyone in the chat who lives in a country where they have paid parental leave. Who pays for that? I'm just curious, because there are countries that do that. Do they require companies to do that, or what? I don't even know.
It's I'm so sorry, man. I am so tired right now.
No, that's all right.
It's a requirement of the companies in most countries. Yeah, in some it is. I think there is a government fund kind of thing, But as far as I understand it, in most places, yeah, they just force companies to do it.
That's interesting. I don't know how that even work. How they even think that would work here. Yeah, I don't. I have no idea. All right. So,
Sarah's right, real quick in chat. She says first the billionaires, then the millionaires, then it'll be the upper middle class, then the middle class. Yeah, exactly.
oh no, they have to
It
go down the line. There's
it's income equality, don't you know? When we're all poor, nobody's rich, you guys.
right. You know,
It's an awesome thing. We'll all get to eat dirt.
well, and they're if they got probably a third of the youth thinking that's such a great idea, but it's funny because you can never really. I don't think you can ever really start with a socialist country. You can't have a socialist country, I don't think, until you have a lot of wealth in your country. I don't know,
Well,
if.
well, I mean, if you go back to like the Russian Revolution, the Chinese Revolution, these things. I mean, there were a lot of really really poor people in those countries, and that's what helped lead the Cuban Revolution. Um, you had some severe disparities between rich and poor, which is what they played on. The funny thing in this country is that you have most of the people supporting this Bernie nonsense are upper middle class people. You look at your college kids. I mean, these are kids. They're not paying their own way to college.
Right.
They're either getting fat ass loans that they hope Bernie's going to pay off for them, or mom and dad are doing it. They're not working their fingers to the bone every night that they're not at school so that they can pay for that school and put themselves at. No, 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 no. It's a bunch of little rich kids who have nothing better to do but to hear how horrible they are and pretend they're revolutionaries.
Right.
It's so sad. They're LARPing as revolutionaries.
Well, it's funny because I was watching. There was a Bernie rally in Iowa, and there was this college student, complaining, yelling, almost yelling at Bernie. Or no, it wasn't Bernie. She was talking to Joe Biden, I think, and she was saying how it's just so unfair that students are burdened with this much cost and that, and the Iowa Board of Regents should be giving away this and that, and we should have free school and this and that. Now, the girl who was doing this was a student at a college called Grinnell College. Mm-hmm. And Grinnell College is this very small, I mean, it's a very highly rated small liberal arts college in Iowa. The school she goes to, complaining about, all this stuff, the yearly room and board at this school is $65,000 a year.
Damn.
Okay. And so she's talking about, how college should be free. Now, the other question I keep having, they keep talking about having free college, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. Which schools are going to be free? Which is it just going to be the community colleges and state colleges? Or do you expect the government to pay for your $65,000 a year tuition at your little, small private liberal arts college in the middle of Iowa? Which are they all going to be free? Are all the student loans you took for that school going to be free too?
It depends on who you ask. Because some people want, I forget which, there's a state right now that offers a 2-year free at any community college in the state. I forget which state it is.
I know California
Kentucky,
used to do
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Warren, she just came out the other day. She wants it to be free for 2-year, 4-year, or technical school. And then you get to talking about paying off the college loans, and they're talking about paying it off. So, here's the thing: no matter what it is, let's say, okay, 2-year free community college. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's going to stop there? Do you think they're not going to say, well, wait a minute. Those kids at the Ivy League schools are getting a better education. They have a better chance at getting ahead. Those should be free too. Well, but it's not going to stop with just the cheaper ones. No.
And so then again, you're back to you're subsidizing the middle and upper middle class.
You're
You're not
subsidizing.
you're
Well,
you're
you got
you're not helping
dog,
the stupid
dog.
poor kids who are going to be,
The poor kids who are like the white ones. Joe,
right.
those poor kids are just as
or
bright as the white kids. Oh,
or as
Joe.
Wolf Blitzer would say, they're so poor and they're so black.
So black. So poor and so black. Yeah.
But yeah, so here's the thing though. So we already have public education up through 12th grade, right? Through
Yep.
and that's all state run, although the federal government subsidizes some of it too. But not everybody even graduates that. So
Sure.
So you're not helping any of those kids who aren't graduating from high school. You're not improving public education at all. All you're doing is taking the kids who are already doing well, are already able to do it. And now they already have programs for kids who can't afford college.
Mm-hmm.
So really, now who are you helping? You're helping the upper middle class and upper class kids that are, and if you're going to go all the way up through Harvard and the University of Chicago, which is $82,000 a year, and Harvard, which is $77,000 a year, and Yale, which is, you're just again, you're subsidizing the people who are already doing it. I was, it's funny because I was also talking to someone recently about, they were talking about reparations, for black people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, there is already reparations for black people. There's reparations for black people who do well in life already, because almost every school has some kind, especially private schools. A lot of private schools have special scholarship programs for smart black kids. Basically my son got one of those scholarships. I mean, he got free, he got full tuition at school. Now he was smart. He already had a scholarship there, and then they just added a little bit to it because he had already had almost a full academic scholarship. But it ended up where he ended up having to pay no tuition. We only paid room and board for him to go because, he's related to me. But that's the school doing it. That's different than the government doing it. They use their endowment for that. Or for example, the University of Chicago, which is another school he was looking at. Nobody leaves the University of Chicago with student loans. The University of Chicago has like a $5 billion endowment.
Oh, wow.
And so when they get there, you fill out the FAFSA and they tell you, okay, this is portion you're going to get in grants, this portion you're going to get in scholarships, and this portion you're going to get in loans. When you get that information at the University of Chicago, the portion of that says would be loans, they use their endowment to give you a grant for that portion so that nobody leaves that school with, with student loans. The part that you pay your out of pocket, and then the rest is basically provided through that. Now, there's a lot of schools out there that have huge endowments, especially some of the big state schools. That could use them that way, and the government wouldn't have to be involved at all. So maybe if one of these candidates said, okay, here's how we're gonna help people with student loans. We're gonna ask these schools to use their endowments for that. It seems like that would make more sense instead of saying, oh no, the government's gonna just forgive your loans that you took out to be, to major in, reptilian feminist dance theory. Let's see. Grinnell is irrelevant unless you went there.
Yeah, I would find it much more compelling if they forced it on, forced it to be for things that are worthy,
Right. Well, that's just it. Now, are they going to have requirements?
Oh, fuck no.
Are they going to require you to be in certain fields? It's, I guess the bigger problem with that, so they're, they like to use the word equity and equality, but they're not, that doesn't help a single kid who drops out of high school. It doesn't. Did your Streamlabs come through? P-Dog, did my Streamlabs come through? It quit halfway through. No, I don't have anything on here. I didn't hear the bell. Oh, no, it did not. Okay, just.
Hey, bud, on that note, I'm going to have to dip out. I'm fading fast.
Oh, that's okay. I do appreciate you coming on today.
I appreciate you having me, and congratulations on 200, man.
Yeah, I'm. We'll see if I can get another 200 under the belt.
Oh, here's to many, many more, my friend.
All right, man. Thank you very much for being here. Everyone say goodbye
Indeed.
to Monkey.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day, and take it easy, but we'll talk again.
All right, man. Take it easy.
See ya.
All right, bye-bye. Let's see here. Thank you, Captain Brambles. Duck Dog, no, I did not see his stream last. Hello, by the way. Good morning, Dr. No, Gulf City, Scott Marsh. Nice to see you. Check your logic. A lot of people have dropped in since I started. So I'm just trying to figure this out. Let's see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to push this over so I can see more of the chat. And that did work. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, gang. I'm going to shut down part of this, since I know my stream's been pretty choppy today. Let me just close a window here or two and see if this works. And then we're going to get into Twitter trends. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just reading some of the chat here. Grinella's irrelevant unless you went there. Yeah, most people don't know Grinnell College for privileged white bitches. I'm in and out wandering around, so yeah, fuck that bitch. Okay. Let's see. Rutgers goes by that name because nobody would go to the University of New Jersey. Oh, that's funny. Check your Twitter DMs. Okay, we'll check my Twitter DMs. Doesn't seem like my computer's really working here. Nothing. That's weird. Let me do this. Let me refresh. Oh, the link from. Oh, I see what you got. Let's see, Batman. Are we talking about Batman, Dr. No? And then also Mark Ruffalo. Is that what we're talking about? Anyway, hello, Lindsay. Good morning. All right. Well, you know what? We can do these, and then I'm going to get into Twitter trends. Hang on here. Real quick. Oh! Okay, I just figured out why you sent me this. I read this completely wrong, too. I'm hoping this is the story you're talking about, Dr. No. Ladies and gentlemen, now, before I even click this article onto the screen, hopefully my stream's starting to work here, but before I put this on the screen, hey, Seamus Derby, before I put this on the screen, oh, there's a super chat. Thank you, Duck Dog, aka Duck Tater, with the $2 super chat on the Streamlabs link in the description down below, saying 200 cents for 200 shows. I will take it, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, you are watching the 200th episode of the Morning Night Live, and it hasn't gone perfect. My screens aren't working, but I appreciate you all, everyone who's here and who's been here a lot. Thank you so much for the $2 super chats. If you want to participate in the super chat program, which helps, well, I can't say it helps pay off my son's student loans, but you know what? It keeps my lights on. So thank you for those of you who participate in the super chats. Okay, this story. This just hurts to even read it. So you know who Robert Pattinson is? Robert Pattinson is known for playing whatever he played in the Twilight series. I think he might have been the vampire dude. I don't know. I don't follow Twilight that much, but I know he is scheduled to be the new Batman, right? He's going to be the next Batman. And so Dr. No sent me this story Oh, Friday funk. Now that I'm alone, yeah, I could throw some funk in here. Hopefully, it works without shutting down. I maybe it's just because I had that whatchamacallit open, the Hangouts window. I just got to get it. I just either need to upgrade this computer or get a new computer. My old computer ran everything. I could run 100 things on my old computer and I would have no problems at all. But this one's not really built for what I'm doing here. This is the one we built that my son just used to learn programming, and he didn't need a whole lot of bells and whistles on it. And so I don't have it doesn't have quite the capacity. But let's throw a little funk out here, and then I'll get to the story about Robert Pattinson. Who you're gonna love this. Let's go here. All right, here we go. That's gonna be really loud. It's okay. It's not exactly funk, but it's a little bit funky, and you can kind of hear it there. Okay, here we go. All right, now let's talk about Robert Pattinson, because this is one of those stories that just makes you want to go. Robert Pattinson thinks Jennifer Lopez would make a great Batman. Robert Pattinson is readying himself for the role of a lifetime as the title character in Matt Reeves' The Batman. He's returning to big budget franchises for the first time. Hang on a second. I'm blasting myself out even. I'm going to turn my headphones down. He's returning to big budget franchises for the first time since the Twilight series, doing so because he found a challenging character. Pattinson makes no secret how flawed and complex he thinks Batman truly is, leading to some surprising comments from the actor lately regarding his part. The latest came in an edition of Actors on Actors from Variety. Patton sat down with Jennifer Lopez and discussed what drew him to The Dark Knight. He stated he thinks of the character as disturbed and struggling with whether he's great or not, which interests the lighthouse actor. I'm going to say the lightweight actor, but okay. Lopez replied, Pattinson will make an awesome Batman because of his dark and brooding nature, traits Pattinson is typically attracted by when choosing roles. I think he'll be a great Batman, an awesome Batman, seriously, because he's a dark character, says Jennifer. Pattinson reacted to Lopez commented by saying, thanks a lot. You too. Huh? Irate Prostate, how you doing? Intrigued, Lopez said in return, huh? Pattinson then stated again, you would be as well. Lopez, seemingly in shock, responds, I could be Batman too? I can be Batman? Why not? Why not? Let's be realistic. Batwoman, Catwoman, and Renee Montoya as the question. Maybe. Batman? Objectively, no. I'm not even reading. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to say, no. You know, let me do a little side here. Okay, so let me just have a conversation, me and you here. Dr. No, Jennifer Lopez would be a great Catwoman or Poison Ivy. Sure, why not? But there's trend. Now, I'm one of the people who watches what happens in popular culture. And we've taken a lot, especially, I know why she can't be Batman. Because Batman's not a redhead. See, only the redheads in popular culture can be replaced by someone from a different race or gender. It's always the redheads. I would prefer that they just write new characters for black actors and actresses. To me, taking a character, for example, now, maybe the exception would be, now I know the Little Mermaid, they have a young black actress, very light-skinned, beautiful girl, great singing voice, who's going to be playing Ariel in the live version of, what's that, Under the Sea, the Little Mermaid, right? Now it's still weird to me because the Little Mermaid is a Danish folklore character, and I don't think the Danish folklore characters necessarily are black, but this girl's really talented, be really interesting, whatever. And her eyes are a little bit wide set, she kind of looks like a fish, but she's cute. To me, when you take characters that have an already established thing going, isn't that kind of like hear me out, isn't that kind of like doing blackface? And I always thought blackface was frowned upon. I don't know. And I think it's cool that these actors are, I don't know. I can't figure it out why they do that. But no, that's kind of weird for him to say. So continuing on, why not? Let's be real. Okay, why not? Let's be realistic. Batwoman, Catwoman, Renee Montoya is the question. Maybe Batman, objectively not as much. While Lopez is used to darker material by now, from The Cell to this year's thriller Hustlers, a line should be drawn unless she is one of the other characters posing as Batman to throw off Gotham's criminals in a subplot. We've seen that before, but it's not the same thing. Pattinson has been saying odd things related to Batman since he first opened up about nabbing the role back in May. He confessed to Googling himself on a plane for an hour to find out what the press was saying about him. The whole time he was sitting next to director Chris McQuarrie. That's interesting. Asked one other time by the New York Times what it was that made him want to play a superhero, the Twilight heartthrob remarked he doesn't view Batman as a hero. To Pattinson, Batman's a complicated guy with a morality that's a little bit off. He's not the golden boy, unlike almost every other comic book character, said Pattinson. Now that actually, I kind of think that's maybe somewhat astute. He's clearly a hero, a superhero. But he does, if you really wanted to play him as a really complicated, fighting with the morality of the things he's doing. In a lot of cases, like for example, when they did the, I can't remember which Batman movie it was, where the Dark Knight, when he's against the Joker, played by the guy who killed himself. There he was conflict. There was, the Joker laughed at him because Batman was always doing the right thing and not killing him, and they played off that conflict in Batman, but the idea that Jennifer Lopez could be Batman, well, that would just be one of those things where you might as well just throw the box off. So it'd be just like what's the movie that bombed? There was a movie that bombed recently where they tried to make him woke. I thought it was a decent. No, that wasn't the Joker. The Joker's. Oh, by the way, the Joker now. Isn't the top grossing? Excuse me, the most profitable. It is the Joker is the most profitable. I don't want to say superhero movie, but supervillain comic book based movie ever. I still haven't seen it. Good morning, Ebony Williams, and good morning, Mike Savage. Good morning, Irate Prostate, and other people who are jumping in and out. Good morning, and Scott Marsh. I said hi to you earlier, but you keep retracting your messages, or is that just something that, the chat does automatically? I don't know. Appropriate culturism. That's interesting. Way to put it. All right, time for Twitter trends, because that's what we do here. We go through the trends on Twitter to find out what people are talking about now, so that we can find out what people are going to be talking about for the rest of the day and what videos people are going to be making. What they will be making tomorrow. So let's find out what people are talking about. We're going to get to our Twitter trends here. Let me make a couple clicks before I change the screen over. Oh, here's interesting. Now, usually when you go to Twitter trends, there is one main world news article. And today's world news article is man sentenced to life for rape and murder of Cape Town student Uyinye Meritriana. South Africa's government stated crimes against women and children will no longer be tolerated. That's an interesting sentence. Let me read that again. Crimes against women and children will no longer be tolerated. Were they tolerated before? I'm just curious. That's a curious sentence. After a post office worker was handed 3 life sentences for the rape and murder of the 19-year-old student, Uyenye Muritiana. I can't say it. The case sparked demonstrations earlier this year over high rates of violence against women in the country. It's kind of the Terminator movie. Thank you, Pirate Pete. That one bombed. Bombed. It didn't just bomb. That is probably... Okay, so... we have the Joker movie. Most profitable movie, probably in the history of all the comic movies, right? And then we have the Terminator, which is probably going to lose the most money of anything since Ishtar. If you know what Ishtar is, you're old like me and several of us. But anyway, I always, whenever I read stories like this, the case sparked demonstrations earlier this year over high rates of violence against women in the country. It's interesting because people talk about that, and I'm not saying that violence against women is terrible. Violence against women and children. But you know that a vast majority of actual violence is also committed against men. And, because they say, the men are killing women, or, 18 trans women of color were killed last year, or so far this year, when as far as a statistical rate, it's an anomaly compared to, just violence against everybody else. But anyway, she looks Blasian. She's whatever. I don't care. All right, let's get into Twitter trends though. Find out what people are talking about today. Number 1 on Twitter, obviously, of course. Yes, I know what Blasian is. The impeachment hearings. Number 1. Let's see what people are saying about the impeachment hearings. Democrats coming into day 2 of the impeachment hearings. Yes, they look quite excited. Here, I'll make that so you can see it better. This is the Democrat. They're coming into the impeachment hearings, and they're fired up. There we go. All right. Okay. Mark Simone. Maria Yovanovitch is under investigation for setting up an operation to monitor media figures like Lou Dobbs and Sean Hannity. This may not be illegal, but it would qualify her for a mental institution. Okay, I'm not sure where that came from, but interesting. Representative Matt Gaetz says, if the Yovanovitch testimony presents a policy disagreement, that stuff happens all the time. It's not impeachable, and it's not even that interesting. Yes, because, so her problem is, now she's one of these people who weren't on the call, and in fact, she was no longer the Ukrainian ambassador, from the United States, the United States ambassador to Ukraine, and so she is upset. Well, part of her problem, and the reason they brought her up, is because Trump fired her and replaced him with who he wanted as the Ukrainian ambassador. That's what presidents do. They put their own people in these ambassadorships. I haven't heard her testimony yet, so I'm gonna probably hear it later. But that just fascinates me. But let's see.
What was Matt Gaetz rejection? Yovanovitch testimony
and I can't
presents as a policy disagreement, as a circumstance where there simply was a rejection of a disruptive and different pattern that the president wanted to take our country down. Then hey. I think that stuff happens all the time. It's most certainly not impeachable, and it's not even that interesting.
All right. So anyway, let's see. Ron Fournier, when somebody robs a bank, it's hardly relevant that he visited the bank once previously without robbing it. Oh, Ron. Interesting Interesting point there. Michael Berry, Pelosi frantically flipping from quid pro quo to extortion to bribery, desperate to find something the public will understand. Just say bribery, like Congressman Alcee Hastings was removed from the court for already. Isn't that ironic? That Alcee Hastings, who was impeached from a judge position in his state, is a representative in the Congress of the United States. I just think that's irony at its finest. As we sit here, the President of the United States is attacking you on Twitter, and we'd like to give you a chance to respond. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's probably part of the testimony. Anyway, obviously, impeachment's the number one thing, and it's the number two thing, and it's not the number three thing. Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. Did you guys see this? This dude from the Browns. Wait a minute. Rudolph is trending thanks to Browns fans defending Myles Garrett and further demonstrating why they are a loser franchise. This dude, let's see if we can find a video of it. This guy took the guy's helmet and hit him in the head with it. Myles Garrett, here it is. So Myles Garrett hit Mason Rudolph in the head with his own helmet. Browns defensive end Myles Garrett was ejected for ripping off Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph's helmet and hitting him in the head with it. Earlier in the game, Browns safety Demarius Johnson was ejected for a helmet-to-helmet hit on Steelers rookie receiver Deontay Johnson. Johnson suffered a concussion and was taken off. Did they show the hit there? Here it is right here.
This is a terrible situation, and I think that we certainly will be looking at suspensions. I think the swinging of the helmet is like crazy. It's crazy.
And then the Steelers after
where it says that you cannot take a player's helmet off and use it as a weapon. But to me, Garrett is going to have a pretty lengthy suspension, and not just because of what he did tonight. I mean, you got to go back and look at this season.
Here it is again. He took his helmet off
twice for hits on the quarterback,
and then he hits him in the head with it. Now the Steelers guys are just beating the shit out of him.
I'm not going to be surprised,
and they're going to get in trouble too.
Could approach 4 games. I don't know how long that they have gone before for an incident like this, but I think 4 games is probably going to be what they do. It could get reduced
if it's only
because certainly the player can appeal the fine. But I
he
just
should be
don't
out for the rest
see
of the
it.
season.
And Pouncey, too, where his kicking and just swinging. I mean, again, this goes beyond pretty much anything that I have seen. What will happen is they got some time. That's the thing, because neither team plays until the following week. So I would look for a decision to be made until maybe Monday or early Tuesday. But again, this used to come to me when I was a head of officiating, and then I would look at it, and then I would refer it I called it upstairs for them to make the final decision. All
right, so there you go. That's why Myles Garrett is trending. A lot of people talking about that. There were some weird tweets about this. Someone saying, well, what if he called him he should be suspended unless he called him the N-word. You know what? It's like, I don't care why. I don't care what word that man said. You don't rip his helmet off and then try to hit him with it. Now there is a place here where Garrett, they show here, they say Rudolph is attacking the lineman. I agree, Browns whooped the Steelers. It's a shame Rudolph had to attempt to rip the helmet off, and other video of Rudolph kicking Garrett in the groin before Garrett gets up. So that's what they're saying, that it's Rudolph's fault. But still, you ripped the helmet off and then you tried to hit him with it. He needs to be suspended. I'm sorry. Moving on, number 4, Jovanovic is trending. I'll read one more since we're in the impeachment mode. Britt Hume says, well, first of all, Donald Trump says, okay, let's see what Donald Trump says, because we got to find out what the Donald says. Everywhere Marie Yovanovitch turned bad. She started off in Somalia. How did that go? Then fast forward to Ukraine. where the new Ukrainian president spoke unfavorably about her in my second phone call with him. It is a U.S. president's absolute right to appoint ambassadors. They call it serving at the pleasure of the president. The U.S. has a very strong and powerful foreign policy, much different than preceding administrations. It's called, quite simply, America First. With all of that, however, I have done far more for Ukraine than Obama. Now, that's the funny thing. You know, one of the things that came up in the hearing on Wednesday that I found fascinating is, didn't realize, maybe it didn't ever hit my head, but you know, when Ukraine asked the Obama administration for aid, regarding the Russian invasion of Crimea and all that, the Obama administration would give many weapons. They gave him, MREs, and blankets, and non-lethal aid, no military aid. And then the Trump administration in 2018 gave aid, 2017 gave a whole bunch of aid, including rockets and missiles and whatever. And in 2019 gave aid, which included military equipment. And then in 2019, yes, it got delayed 55 days because of this hold, but and also given aid, now. So it's funny that, if you want to compare, they like to compare Obama, or they like to say thanks Obama because the economy, was kind of getting a little better with Obama, and then all of a sudden Trump came in, and there was a marked improvement in the trajectory of that. But nope, they want to say thanks for Obama for the economy, but then they go to Ukraine and go, well, what did Obama give Ukraine? Some blankets and MREs. Meals ready to eat, for those of you who don't know what MREs are, and no real actual equipment. And the Trump administration has given them equipment, but still we're arguing about that. So anyway, that's what Trump said about Yovanovitch, and Britt Hume says, I don't know because my damn thing refreshed. But David Garber says, read former ambassador to Ukraine Yovanovitch opening statement to Congress. Well, we'll check that out another day. Moving on. What else is happening on the top Twitter trends? We got Yovanovitch is for best cartoon theme song. That's a good one. Okay. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to come back to that. You guys in the chat, tell me your favorite cartoon theme song that you can think of. I can think of two that are a couple of my favorites, but I'm gonna let you do that before I click that trend. Number 6 trending, witness, not wetness. Witness, Donald Trump accused of intimidating witnesses by attacking former, oh my God. What does it say, The Independent? Schiff suggests Trump's tweet about Yovanovitch during her testimony amount to witness intimidation. Well, what is she doing on Twitter during Trump's testimony, or what's she doing on Twitter during her testimony? Everyone is glomming onto Trump tampering with a witness because he tweeted something in real time. How could you possibly intimidate a witness? She wouldn't even have known about it had Schiff not informed her, unless I'm totally misunderstanding of the facts. Facts, right? Adam Schiff, the president in real time is attacking you. What effect do you think that has on other witnesses willing to come forward? Yovanovitch, it's very intimidating. Schiff, some of us here take witness intimidation very seriously. You know what else was happening during the testimony on Wednesday with the two gentlemen, the ambassador Taylor and Weld, or whatever his name? During the testimony, Adam Schiff was live tweeting, and as were several representatives were tweeting when other people were asking questions during the testimony. What effect does Adam Schiff's tweeting have on witnesses? Jesus Christ, that's unbelievable. All right, so that's why Witness is trending. Moving on, Tory Lanez, I don't know who that is. Jacques, I'm gonna drop an album, call it the King of R&B. Oh, that's Who is Tory Lanez's producer? The way these samples are flipped. Okay, you gotta understand. That's some inside music stuff. Anyway, don't care. Miss Universe is tweeting. What? Or trending. Number 10. And why did... Okay, this is weird. Okay, so Miss Universe is trending. And then the little subline here is politics. White House releases memo of the April call between Trump and Ukraine Zelensky. I don't know how those are related. Let's see if there's something here that tells me why they did that. Trump in the call tells Zelensky that Ukraine was always very well represented at Miss Universe. That's why. Oh my God, they will just... Trump mentions Miss Universe, but nothing about corruption. This is White House releases transcript of the first call between Trump and Zelensky. It is shorter and more congratulatory. Most colorful thing Trump has to say is about Miss Universe. Oh my God, we'll be reading about this later. I guarantee there'll be videos and people talking about it. It'll be in the news, and Miss Universe will figure prominently. Nowhere in the transcript does Trump mention or even allude to any of those issues. He does, however, compliment Zelensky on the number of Ukrainian women in the Miss Universe competition. Well, you do realize. Keep going. Oh, by the way, your favorite cartoon song in the chat, please. Let's see. Well, because Trump did happen to run the Miss Universe contest or own it, I think. Did he own it? He owned the whole thing, didn't he? Whatever. Jesus Christ. These people, they're gonna, oh my God. Let's see. Ukrainian model Oleksandra Nikolayenko won Miss Universe in 2004 and 2005. She is now married to billionaire hotelier Phil Ruffin, a close friend and business partner of President Trump. Trump was the best man at their 2008 Mar-a-Lago wedding and paid for the guest lodging. Wow. When I owned Great Miss Universe, they always had great people. Ukraine was always very well represented, Trump said to Zelensky on April 21st per the White House summary of the first call. Okay, that's why Miss Universe is trending. Let's get moving on because I need to finish the show. Chris Wallace, number 11. What's Chris Wallace have to say today? Let's see. Impeachment hearing. Questioning underway on the second day of public impeachment hearings. Chris Wallace on Fox News just now on the GOP defense that ambassadors serve at the pleasure of the president. If that's the best they can do, I guess they're in some trouble. Why? If you are not moved by the testimony of Maria Yovanovitch, you don't have a pulse, says Chris Wallace. Okay. And Robert Reich agrees with him. I guess I'm going to have to watch this testimony now. So far, Chris Wallace, Brett Baer, and Ken Starr have all said how badly this is going for Trump. Somewhere Sean Hannity must be taking an 8-iron to his flat screen. Okay. Watching Fox News, Martha McCallum calls Yovanovitch a somewhat sympathetic character. Okay, so apparently she's her testimony is not going well for Trump. We're gonna have to watch this later. All right, so that's people are gonna be talking about that. Big Sean is trending. He's a musician. I don't know. Big Sean made Single Again featuring Janae. Janae made None of Your Concern featuring Big Sean. This will mean only one thing and one thing only. They're making a whatever. I don't know what that means. Okay. What? Big Sean said he made Janae come times in one day? Okay, that's some music news right there. Moving on. Darren Sproles is trending. Breaking: Eagles running back Darren Sproles is out for the remainder of the season with a quad injury per Mike Garafolo. Sproles has tried to squeeze out the rest of his career with the Eagles, but this is likely the end for Sproles. So if you're an Eagles fan, that's kind of sad news. Moving on. Chuck Rosenberg is trending, whoever that is. Let's see. Chuck Rosenberg calling out Pompeo's failure in leadership and cowardice in refusing to stand up for Yovanovitch. Chuck is a perfect gentleman, calm and polite. Even his very intense anger on the issues is expressed eloquently. I'm in awe of him. Can you tell? That's Laura Walker, former conservative. Well, she's still a conservative, but she is very anti-Trump. Chuck Rosenberg on NBC says on MSNBC that the nation shouldn't have lost focus on what Trump did in the Mueller report. What did he do in the Mueller report? Morons. And that he would have been indicted had he been anyone other than the president, says behaviors are now consistent with obstruction then. Okay. I doubted he would have been indicted. I really doubted. I'm sorry. Anyway. So Chuck Rosenberg is very critical of Trump. Okay. That's good to hear about that. But Rudolph is trending. But Rudolph, why is it? Oh, okay. Garrett will come but Rudolph has to get reprimanded as well. His hands aren't clean. Okay, so they're saying that Rudolph should be reprimanded for trying to pull this guy's helmet off. I don't know who's attacking who. Because the helmet, and apparently he kicked him in the nuts. So that's probably why the other dude hit him with the helmet. Intimidating is probably related to Trump and the witness tweeting. Yeah, they talked about that, so I'll go on. That's going to be there. Lee Zeldin is trending. Representative Lee Zeldin arguing that Democrats did something truly terrible in 2018 by ousting Republicans from their districts. They're doing it, arguing that free and fair elections they lose are undemocratic and unfair. Is that what he said? Is that the thing there? Lee Zeldin, the only thing that is a sham is the entire GOP turning a blind eye to actions that risk our national security and foreign policy, you implicit asset. You know what? It's funny how they like to throw out this risking our national security and foreign policy. The foreign policy is the executive branch's purview. Now, if you want to say he did something wrong that is actually illegal, fine. Find that and let's talk about it. But let's not use that hyperbola that, you're risking our foreign policy. What if that's this administration's foreign policy? They have a pretty wide leeway. But anyway, Lee Zeldin thinks this is a sham. I'm shocked. Oh, the Republicans are a disease. Ooh, that's some strong words. Anyway, apparently Lee Zeldin got interviewed and, or maybe that was part of his question. We'll find that out as we watch later. Number 18, the first Friday trending topic. Usually there's 3 or 4 in the top 10, and this is the first Friday trending topic, and it is Friday thoughts. Yes, I said thoughts, not thoughts. That joke will never get old. Friday thought. Let's get a Friday thought in here, and then we'll go check out some of the best cartoon songs. Friday thoughts. Okay, this is less government, more fun, saying no kidding between Schiff and the pundit class, a platoon of Soros gawkers. Related to the Sean Davis tweet, it says the biggest scandal revealed today is the utter idiocy and incompetence of America's television pundit class. Okay, what is he responding to? Mark Levin. Oh, this is a thread by Mark Levin. How long is this thread? Oh, it's only 2. Okay, let's read this. I swear that can I do it in a Mark Levin voice? I swear that the media are not only vicious, but they are nuts. But for the fact that Schiff reads the president's tweet to this witness during the course of the hearing, she would not have known about the tweet. How the hell is that witness tempering? Furthermore, it clearly hasn't changed the fact that the witness is testifying willingly and sticking to her script. That's not a very good Mark Levin voice, but that's what he said. Okay. Yeah, that whole thing about the intimidating witness. Well, yeah. Only because you read it to her, Adam Schiff, you moron. I'm moving on. So that's why. What is it? What is this? What is this? The trend? Friday. Oh, it's Friday thoughts. Let's have a better Friday thought than that. Okay. Let's have a calm, collected, cool Friday thought. It's Friday, everyone's favorite day. Who's ready for the weekend? I know we are. Don't have time to schedule your inspection on the weekday? No worries, we have Saturday inspections. Book yours today for a more secure and durable home. Okay, that's an ad for Omega Structural Inc. That's probably not the best Friday thought to use. Let's find at least one that makes sense for what is what? Let's see here. Okay, let's try this. Our favorite quotes, Toby Stevens, about the best gift we can give out to other people, even in terrible situations. Do you all agree? Here is the Friday thought of the day. Humor is just the most wonderful thing that we have. It punctures so many things: misery, one's own self-importance. Oh, that was the end of the sentence. I didn't read that right, but there's our Friday thought of the day. And number 19 on the Twitter trends, because it always ends at 19, Trump bribery crimes. Now, Carpe Donktum, the meme master general, says, the reason Trump must be impeached changes more often than a gender-fluid liberal with multiple personalities. What happened to the 25th Amendment, Russiagate, quid pro quo, 2 scoops? Trump bribery crimes. Oh, and Ranting Monkey. The resistance is pushing the bribery line. LOL, sheep gonna sheep. Because that's Scott Dworkin, the #1 Trump hater on the internet. Raise your hand if you think Trump should be impeached and removed immediately. Trump bribery crimes. Yeah, bribery is the word of the day now. Bribery. Now, bribery, from a legal standpoint, would be you would bribe I don't know that you can bribe a country. I mean, you kind of can, but that becomes more quid pro quo. Bribery is when you say, okay, I'm going to give you, the individual, this money or this thing of value if you do this with something that's not necessarily yours. Okay, so if he said to Zelensky, yes, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put $10 million in a Bahamian bank account if you say Joe Biden 5 times in your next press conference. Okay? That's bribery. Now, moving... well, first of all, he didn't even... nothing in the phone call is bribery. If Zelensky never... Oh my God. He didn't even... You have to let him know that you're bribing him to be able to bribe them. That didn't happen. I am gonna listen to Yovanovitch's testimony, and of course the news media says that's devastating. And Chris Wallace is a straight down the middle news guy. I don't distrust Chris Wallace at all. So that's why I want to go listen to the testimony and see what he says is devastating or whatever. But this whole thing is still a crime. Or excuse me, it's not even a crime. It's a impeachment scrambling to find a crime out of it. And so they're using the word bribery because bribery in the Constitution is one of those words that are actually in the part about impeachment: treason, high crimes, misdemeanor, bribery. Okay, so, and bribery, people understand the word bribery, but again, they had to get a focus group to decide what they were going to call it. And so bribery is what polled the best with focus groups in battleground states. And so then they all had the memo come out saying, oh, we're going to use bribery now. All right, let's finish off with the number. I don't even know what number it is now, but we're going to go to best cartoon theme songs, okay? Now, before I click this, let's see if I can find some of the ones you threw in here. I saw Ed, and Eddie. I don't know that theme song very well. Looney Tunes theme. That would be the Looney Tunes theme song. The Jetsons. Here's George Jetson. His boy Elroy. Daughter Judy. Jane, his wife. I know that one. That's one of my favorites, personally. Inspector Gadget. I do. Toss between Thundercats and Gummy Bears. Okay, Killer Pie Pete, that tells me you're a little bit younger than me. Underdog. Oh, here I come to save the day. Okay, I know that one. Captain K-Man. I remember that one. George of the Jungle. George of the Jungle. Do. Scooby-Doo. Come on, Scooby-Doo. Oh, where are you? We've got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby-Doo. We need... That's a pretty good one. That's not my favorite, but I do like that one. You know what? Another one from that era that probably no one would even think of is Josie and the Pussycats. There was actually a cartoon of Josie and the Pussycats. That was a pretty good one. Let's see. Are there any more in here? I don't think anyone has any. I don't see them. All right. Let's see what the people came up with, and then I got to go. Oh, I am late. I got to hurry here. Let's go. Best cartoon theme songs. Flintstones. Yeah, the Flintstones is a good one too. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a modern Stone Age family. The town of Bedrock. They're a piece of another fish story. I would add, there's a couple that weren't actually cartoons, but they could have been. Like Bewitched was a good one, but that's not a cartoon. Anyway, all right. Let's see. X-Men, Transformers, Brave Star. Transformers is a good one too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Pokemon, Captain Planet, Chip and Dale. I'm Dale. Dude, I never even thought of South. See, I always the evening ones. I don't think so much of the primetime cartoons. I always think those are sitcoms, but they are cartoons. And so they had South Park on there. Obviously, The Simpsons. There's South Park. I think is hilarious. Anyway. Daddy Phantom, What's New Scooby-Doo, Proud Family, Phineas and Ferb, Pokemon, Invader Zim, DuckTales, Futurama, Goof Glop, X-Men, SpongeBob, Stephen U, Pinky and the Brain, anime. So it's funny because you can tell how old someone is by their favorite cartoon theme songs. But yeah, there's Ren and Stimpy. I don't know if their song was that great, but it was a pretty funny cartoon. There's the Jetson. Hong Kong Phooey. Who remembers Hong Kong Phooey? Chip and Dale. Let's see if there's any others over here. Cow and Chicken. Yeah, I don't need. Okay, so that is. Oh, there was one that my kids watched that I thought had a good theme song. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, there's Ed, and Eddie. Teen Titans. Okay, so anyway, we got a bunch of them. All right, Oh, that is Mighty Mouse. What was the other one? What was the one I was thinking? Yeah, Mighty Mouse is Here I Come to Save the Day. Who was I trying to remember? Underdog. What was Underdogs? I can't remember. I liked Underdog too. Anyway, all right, guys, I gotta go because I'm late. Hey, you know what? Thank you so much for being here on the 200 episode of the Morning Night Live. It's been fun so far, and I'm gonna keep doing this a while. I'll see if I can get I'll get to 1,000 and figure out if I'm gonna keep doing this. But hey. Would you please do me a favor before you go? If you have not shared this stream, share it out. Use that share thing. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell. Also, if you want to make donations to the channel or do super chats in the future, Streamlabs links is in the description down below. I am here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT for the people in other parts of the world. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate every single one of you, especially you. A lot of you come here every day, and it just makes me feel great, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. My name is P Dog Night, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Hey, this is P Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.